Oh, hi there, and welcome back to British Skylines. We're here in the county of Cambridgeshire, in the town of Great Gammington, and this is episode 13. So in this video, I wanted to work on a new area, and as the title of the video suggests, we're working on a forest, a new forest area, and it's going to be quite large, probably one of the largest individual builds we've done so far this series. So hopefully you're going to like this. But as with all builds, we want to start off by just laying out the area, just planning the space. So we've got the road access coming off just by the crematorium, the cemetery, and yeah, we're just basically planning the space around it. So I've earmarked this space between the retail park and the housing estate, and as you can see, we're just filling in the area with the in-game park area thing, whatever it's called, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's just trying to sort of figure out where it is, and once we've got the basic shape, it was a case of trying to put some paths in. Now, when I went into this, I didn't have anything in mind to say, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. I just wanted a path to go around the outside, and then some interlinking paths somewhere through the middle, just to give people the option of different types of walks. So if you want to go to the park, you can take the long walk around the outside, or you can do a couple of smaller ones in the middle, or combine a few together, and just I say, whatever your personal fitness level is, or how long you've got to walk, or how far you think you can walk, you can just mix it up and just go with it. So yeah, that's kind of what I was going here, and I think it worked out right. It looks natural. It's alright. Originally I was planning to cross the road there and do a little bit into the other bit, but I changed my mind last minute. I thought, nah, it's not worth it. At this point, I was adjusting the roads because I thought the bushes were a little bit too big just at the entrance, so I changed it a little bit, and then I got really confused with the one-way roads. I generally thought I was putting in two-way roads. I'm thinking, what are these arrows for? Why is it a dead end? And it took me a minute, but after a while I realised, okay, I know what I've done, but yeah, no big deal. So that's what's happening there. Yeah, so obviously we're making a park, and in that you need places for people to go. So I wanted to put in some of the rocks from obviously the Park Life DLC, which look pretty good, and they're interactive. People play with them and climb them, so it looks good for cinematics as well. So I really like that. And then I wanted to start working on the actual ground. So we've used some of the dirt decals that we've used previously, and I just wanted to lay them just randomly around. It didn't really matter where, because we're going to add different layers to it. This is just the base layer, just to sort of give the ground that different texture to normal, but we'll obviously add a bit more to it as we go along, with trees and bushes and all sorts of different activities. So as you can see here, we're now just grabbing some of these trees. Now I may have overdone it slightly, which you'll see as we go on, but all those little blue circles there, each of those is an asset. I mean, that grass, for example, is made up, must be about 30 assets each time I'm placing this down. This is going to get very intensive, and I didn't really think about this when I started this off. So it starts off alright. It does start getting a bit to the point where the game lags for me, so we're going to have to address that later down the line. But it looks good, and that's all that matters, and it still performs alright. But I do apologise, towards the back end of the video, the frames around this area do start dropping. So yeah, bear with me on that, guys. So yeah, obviously we're just going to put a few things in and just put some trees down, just to give it a little bit of that texture. We've got some bushes and some grass. I think it just brings it adds it more real, but obviously that's not enough. People want something to do when they're there, not just walk. I mean, I love a walk. I don't know about you, I love going through walks in the forest and the woods, and just obviously seeing the scenery and the beauty of nature. But sometimes you need a little bit more than that. So I wanted to try and get things in like tents and camper vans and caravans, that sort of thing, camping areas, because people can stay the night. Why not? I mean, it's a beautiful place. Why wouldn't you do that? So again, these are just I think these are the standard ones from the Park Life DLC. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure they are. But we do add some others in a bit as well, and did have a look at a fire pit, but I wasn't too keen on that. I just felt like the problem with the fire pit is the asset. It uses the vanilla trees, and I'm just not a fan of the vanilla trees. Not in this build anyway. On a different city, yeah, fair enough, but this one just doesn't work. I had a bit of trouble here. I was trying to add the trees in, and obviously we had this phone lines going across, and if you remember from, I think, episode 3, we spent a lot of time making sure this worked well and there was no trees in the middle of it, so I wanted to continue on that. I didn't want to sort of let that slide, but the problem is, because there's so many assets there, it's difficult to try and find the tree and move out of the way. Did it eventually, it just took a bit of time, but yeah, that's all good. And you may see something of a trend already, but a lot of this episode is going to be placing trees, and I'm trying to make it look quite nice and realistic, and the way I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to be smart about it, and having like gaps between the trees to have less, obviously, assets to be less intensive on the FPS. I think if I was to do this again, I think if you were to do it, I'd recommend, instead of doing what I've done where you get a whole bunch of tiny little assets, like literally small bits of grass, and put them together, just get a few bigger bushes and do less of them, so you've got fewer assets. So that's certainly what I'll do, and if I have to, I will go back and I will do that off camera, and I'll neaten this up so I can lose some frames. I'm not worried too much about it, because I can always just not look at this area, and other areas are still fine. But yeah, that's what, if you were to do this, and if I was to do it again, I would definitely use bigger bushes but fewer, and then they take up more space, and it just gives the same overall effect, but without having the same effect. Now, what's happening here? We've just put in an asset there. It was called a large BMX track by Roids, and in Workshop it looks brilliant, and I think in other cities it would look brilliant. But again, it comes down to the fact that it's got the vanilla trees, and I put it down. I like it. I just doesn't think it fits. It doesn't fit in with the other trees here, and it's just going to stand out like a sore thumb. So we don't actually keep that. We do get rid of that later on. I'm just to let you know. So but yeah, that, and also I wasn't too keen on the billboards. Don't get me wrong. I like that. It's fine, but again, it just doesn't fit this build. So I like the asset. It just doesn't fit this. So that's why we're going to get rid of it later on. Also, we've just been putting in some of the sort of the cabins. I can't remember what they're called, like cabins or lodges or whatever they are on the Park Life DLC. We use quite a lot of that. Obviously, we're doing a park, so we're going to be using the Park Life DLC where we can. Yeah, so we cut them in, and obviously they come with the fire pits and stuff as well. But again, they do get changed later on, because I go down a different route, which I'll talk to you when we get to it. But it was I was originally planning to do one forest like this, and then another one with the final result, but because of I could tell that it was going to get intensive on the machine and on the game, so I thought, let's just combine it to one and just focus on the better stuff. So we'll come to that in a minute. Again, obviously, loads more trees. We've got to try and make it look like a real forest. We're doing the same technique where we're just putting blotches of them here, there, and everywhere, then filling the floor in with the dirt decals just to give it that extra texture and make it feel like there's stuff going on. There's people walking underneath it and stuff. As much as no one's ever going to walk under there, it's almost pointless doing it, but it looks good, and that is the point of doing it. It looks good. At the end of the day, we are making a city that looks good, or trying to. I mean, you be the judge of that. There we go. We've got rid of the BMX track and replaced it with more trees. And I personally think that works better. And yeah, it's going to do the job. Now I've got the basic thing set up, and I've got done enough of them. It's a lot easier to place trees down, because we can just copy and paste a whole bunch of them with the decals and everything, and then just cover a large area very, very quickly. So that's what we're going to start doing for the next, until we finish the park off. Here, this is obviously one of those cabin thingies, and yeah, I like him. Again, it's because of the little bushes next to them, and they're just the vanilla ones, and they just don't look as good. Again, if I was doing a vanilla city, which I would like to do that maybe at a later time, do another series where we're just focusing more vanilla at least. I might use that sort of thing more often, but yeah, for this city, it just doesn't work. It doesn't. I'm sorry. You might disagree, but I don't think it does. Anyway, trees are going in. Everyone's loving the trees. Frames are not so bad at the moment. It does get worse as it goes along. And if you think it's bad now, well, it doesn't get like awful. It just does make it a lot slower to move around. But because obviously the video is sped up, you don't see it as much as when I'm playing the game. So hopefully I've sort of spared you from some of that. But it does make it playing a lot more difficult, because it's just less responsive. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? You want it to look nice, you got to pay the bill. And while I'm sort of just placing some more trees down, I just want to talk to you as well. What do you think of the music here? I'm trying to go for sort of quite a chilled style video. I feel like I've got quite a soft voice. I'm not really deep and aggressive. I'm quite soft spoken, and I feel like it pairs quite well with the chilled music. I'd say I don't want to shout down the microphone at you. I just want to talk to you and just. I want you to be able to relax, enjoy the experience. Let me know if that's working. If it's not, we can change it up. You know, it's no big deal. But you know, that's just what I'm going for. And if it's not working, we can try and push it even further. Who knows? Anyway, here we are. We're just playing a few. I wanted a little patch here with no trees because it is realistic. There's not going to be trees everywhere there. So these are just sort of small bushes and tall grass. And I think it looks quite well. And if I'm honest with you, the main reason was because I got fed up of moving the trees out of the way of the telegraph poles. So instead, we've just put mainly bushes and then put the odd tree around it just to sort of give it that natural look. I think that works right. Here we are, we're deleting all those log cabins, and they're gone now, and replacing them with something much better. Now, these assets, you may have seen them before, but they are by Rick 4000, and they're the UK Holiday Park collection, essentially. And they're fantastic. They're actually really cool. We will get some sort of close-ups of them as we go along, but if you haven't, I know I've talked about Rick 4000 quite a lot, and you know, you probably maybe are bored of hearing about him, but he is a fantastic content creator, great at making assets, but also he's got a YouTube channel as well. So you know, he doesn't know I'm doing this. I've never spoke to him, but check out his videos as well, because what he does is really clever. He obviously makes the assets, and then he needs the screenshots for them. So he basically does all this high-level detailing, much better than what I'm doing, much better, much more detailed, and then he uses those for the screenshots, and he makes the YouTube videos along the way so you can see the process he does, and it's really good to watch. If you're into detailing, he's a fantastic person to watch. No voice on there, just him making stuff, and it's really good. It's very chill, very good, easy to watch. But anyway, back to me. That's what you're here for. But yeah, I'm just trying to put him in. I'm not going mega detailed. Obviously, as far as I'm concerned, the assets themselves, the log cabins, they are the detail within the forest. It's not. I don't know if that makes sense. As far as I'm concerned, they don't need separate gardens. They don't need hot tubs or jacuzzis. Don't get me wrong, that'd be pretty cool, but they don't need that. These are just people out in the middle of nowhere. They've come for a camping trip or nice walk and just stop off at a log cabin. And that's it. It's just something to separate it. So that's why I didn't want to go too detailed. And also, frame rate. Obviously, all these trees and bushes. If I start putting in fences and stuff as well, it's just going to get quite difficult to keep it going. But I think it works quite well. We've got some cars. I think pretty much every site I put at least one car with the tents as well, just to give it the look that someone's there. They've come in. As much as these aren't driving roads, these are just paths. That doesn't matter. It's like people. They allow, as far as I'm concerned, the park allows people to walk. It's a walking path, but if you're camping and you need to take your equipment, to drive along. Just drive at 5 miles an hour and then don't drive around. It's not a racetrack. You're not driving around it. You're just gonna leave your car there and then walk around like everyone else. That's where I'm coming from. That's how I'm seeing it. So I think that works well. That's certainly similar to campsites I've been at in the past. And this isn't so much a campsite. This, as much as it is a campsite, people can camp here. It is a park as well. It's a twofold situation. So yeah, that's that. I don't know. That's just the way I see it. Hopefully you think that works. Here we are. Anyway, obviously we're just popping some more tents down. We are getting quite close to the end of the video, so I do hope you're enjoying this. And if you've got ideas as well for sort of future builds we can put in here, or things we can change of this part of the build, let me know. Let me know in the comment section, because I read every comment. I find it amazing how many people are coming in, and it's fantastic. Thank you. I wasn't expecting so many people to actually enjoy this series. I thought with my history of being a Minecraft YouTuber, I don't think a lot of my audience are really into this sort of stuff, so it's fantastic to see that there are a lot of people coming in and saying, yeah, I like this is good, keep it up, because it's making me want to do that. I really do. I'll get back to Minecraft at some point in the future, who knows, maybe other games, but I just enjoy playing this. It's relaxing, it's peaceful, and it's fun. So yeah, anyway, I do hope that you've enjoyed the video. Obviously, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends about it, because if you like it, there's a good chance they will too. But as always, I mean, don't forget to wait for the cinematic. Don't leave yet, please. Please don't go. Help me. Don't forget to watch cinematics. But as always, I've been Skiki Gamer. You've been awesome. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the cinematics. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.